Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I get asked about more than anything combined. We're talking about stability.
Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Okay, all right, calm down. Listen to me.
So stability, and just doesn't matter if it's recreational kayak or fishing kayaks, is probably the most searched topic and what people are more curious about, especially if they've never been in a kayak. So I'm going to go over the three types of stability. I'm going to go over primary stability, secondary stability, and most importantly, I'm going to go over personal stability. Toward the end of the video, I'm also going to discuss how stability can affect your performance in both a negative and a positive way. So definitely stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for coming by. Let's get right into it. So starting out, we're going to talk about primary stability. Now, primary stability is probably what most people think of when they think of stability in a kayak. And I always like to call it, it's that initial wiggle. So if you're standing on just flat ground out here, you step outside and you're standing in your yard or your driveway, there's no movement. Call that maximum primary stability. Now, when you're in a kayak, don't get me wrong, you're always going to feel like you're in a kayak no matter which one you're in. There's going to be a little wiggle to it, but that initial feel, everyone knows it that's been on a kayak. How safe and stable do you feel on that kayak just sitting there? Especially if you're on the lake, calm, flat water, just how much movement are you going to be, is the kayak going to do? Just maybe shuffling around, or you're moving over to grab something or reaching behind you. That initial feel, that initial comfort, I like to say, that's your primary stability. Again, most people focus more on that because that is, if you're not used to being on one, that is going to be the first impression of a kayak, is going to be primary stability and how comfortable of a seat you're in. Moving on from primary stability, and again, primary stability, just giving you some examples of some kayak designs. Think of the Perception Outlaw. Think of some older bona fide kayaks like the SS-107 and the SS-127. They have what they call the tri-hull design. It's going to have catamarans on the edges or pontoons, and it'll have a nice keel line down the middle of it. That keel line is going to help with the paddle performance as far as tracking, but it's primarily focused on that initial stability, that initial side to side. Now, the next thing I'm going to go to, this is going to be secondary stability. So secondary stability is once you get past that primary stability, you're going to feel that let go, and then you're going to feel what I like to call a secondary stability, or second set of hands, that extra resistance. So think of leaning your kayak over, and it's going to feel like it catches. You're going to hit that next wall. That's your secondary. This is going to allow you to lean into turns. It's going to allow you to maneuver a little bit better. These are really best for like river and creek fishing kayaks. And a lot of your kayaks that are designed for motorized and performance are going to have a good secondary stability. So think of like Bonafide's PWR for lakes, and then their RVR or the Crescent Shoaly for rivers and creeks. These are going to have better secondary stability than it does initial stability. And to the beginner, it's going to feel like these are more unstable because of that. But really what it's meant to do is you're going to have choppy water. And that's really kind of the con of having that too much primary, is when water is moving up and down, the bottom of that hull is going to want to stay parallel to it. So you're going to feel in a lot of cases that the boat is controlling you versus you controlling the boat. Secondary stability is my preference, obviously, because I like to feel like I have a little bit more control. And then, you know, if I got some wake by a boat going too fast by me, or if I'm on a river or creek, I like to be able to maneuver and keep myself out of danger a little bit more because of that. But beginning out, I probably preferred the primary just because of that initial comfort that comes with a higher primary stability. So the next and the third stability that I'm going to talk about, and like I said in the intro, this is going to be the most important, or really the biggest wild card in the bunch, and we're talking about is personal stability. Personal stability, that's going to be how you personally, how stable you are. Some of us are walking tight ropes 100 foot above the ground, and then some of us are getting to the edge of a cliff and we're having to put it in four-wheel drive just to walk around. This is personal stability. There's a lot of factors, your equilibrium, maybe you got, weak ankles, weak legs, anything like that can factor into that. The same is for kayaks. So kayak design matters. We all know that, but there's a reason why some people may think one kayak is stable and then another person will come in behind them and say, that is the most unstable kayak I've ever been on. So it does matter. Keep in mind, you're on a kayak, you're on water, you're going to feel a little bit of an instability. You get used to that, but with personal stability, it really kind of goes into maybe personal fitness, body type, how far you are from the kayak's weight capacity is another really big thing that I see. So obviously, if you're up there in weight and you don't want to wait till you lose a whole bunch of weight to get out on the water, I totally understand that. Just have the stability, lower your expectations of stability, keep in the seat as much as you can, and get used to your kayak's limitations. I always suggest with newer paddlers or bigger paddlers or all of the above there, go to a calm, flat water that doesn't have a lot of boat traffic. Get used to how your kayak feels in the water. Again, used to that primary stability. Maybe fall out of it. Maybe know what your limitations are versus the kayak's limitations. The more comfortable you are with a kayak, the more confident you're going to be. And honestly, confidence is another thing that really will contribute to your personal stability as well. So the last thing I want to talk about is this is going to be in a performance category. So why does performance matter? Now, and I'm really talking about fishing kayaks. We all know why performance matters, and even more so probably on recreational kayaks. But the fishing kayak, most people, they want to be stable, but these are where you're going to maybe you're going to get a pedal drive, or maybe you're going to get a motor eventually and motorize the kayak. How that kayak moves to the water absolutely matters. So if you got the battleship out there that is just not paddling well, not moving to the water, putting a motor on it is just going to tax that motor even more. It's going to run your battery down quicker, and you're just not going to get that much more speed out of putting a motor on it. What I always like to say, there's always a good balance for what, depending on what you want to do. Again, I'm not talking about moving water. I'm not talking about calm, flat water. Whatever you primarily use your kayak for, your stability should come into play, but it may not need to be the number one thing you need to look for. Stability and performance are always kind of that balancing act. If you're giving to stability, you're usually taking away from performance, and vice versa. Your most nimble, quickest kayaks are typically going to be maybe not as stable feeling as some others out there. Think of crescent kayaks. So I'm talking about just paddling. Crescent kayaks are probably some of the most nimble, best paddling kayaks out there, but they may not be the most stable, and that's why that is. There's no perfect kayak out there. They're all designed for a specific niche in mind. So when you're looking at big open water lake kayaks, you're looking at maybe Bonafides, maybe Jacksons, Hobies, anything like that. These are going to be designed to be stable, to carry a lot of gear. Your weight capacity are typically going to be higher on these, and they're going to have a tendency to be a lot heavier because there's a lot more plastic used on that. But maybe certain hulls are designed for performance to get you there a little easier and quicker, and then certain ones are designed primarily just for stability. So it just depends on what you want your kayak to do, what characteristics you want it to have. Do you want it to move through the water nicely? Do you want it to track that straight line performance? Or do you want it to turn really quickly? Get into some tight areas, be able to maneuver around. These are all things that go into how a kayak is designed and how it performs. And then also how much stability you really need. So there's always a delicate balance there. But anyways, guys, that's my spiel on stability. Hopefully this kind of cleared up some of the mud out there, because there's a lot of opinions on what makes stability, what breaks stability. And really, a lot of it I feel like is up to the individual. I know I'm definitely one of those that maybe doesn't have the best personal stability, so I may not feel as stable in some kayaks as many of you do. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this helped you out. As always, check out some of my other videos on other kayaks and other kayak manufacturers. If you have specific questions on any of those kayaks, please let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching the video. We'll see you on the next one.